Hi guys, welcome to our podcast.
Our podcast.
Stop calling it that. It's never going to stop, is it?
No.
No. Oh
Unless you start doing it, then you're going to find something different.
Oh my gosh, no.
I only do it because I know you don't like it.
It's a weird word.
Potty.
Yes.
You used to sit on one when you were a little baby.
That's why I don't like it.
That's right, you're the anti-poo person.
Yes, I don't like toilet humour. It's not my thing.
Not your thing.
Not my thing.
So what have you been doing this week?
I'm just finalising models for America and getting ready to head over there. And stuff. Yeah.
But this won't be coming up before
No, it won't
America.
be. But that's all right. Well, you asked me what I've been doing. That's what I've been doing. I had a pretty chill weekend. Didn't really do too much. We had a good shoot with Lottie today. That was good.
Oh yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about
Oh, okay. We'll let you talk about that. I haven't really had too much exciting stuff happen.
Not too much.
No.
I sort of had a nothing big week.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a bit like it.
It's sort of like I've fallen behind. Can't believe I actually was able to fit commercial work in. Well, it's been 2 or 3 months since I stopped, and I've gone back to working all weekends, and I'm going to be working all this weekend. I did have to. Last weekend was I did a model training with Evelyn.
Mm-hmm.
That was only 3 hours. But then on the Saturday, I had to zip in and pick up my new toy.
That's right.
Yes, well, my new old toy.
Yeah, but that takes time for you to go into the city from your place. That takes...
Oh, yeah, no, I left at 8 in the morning, got home at lunchtime.
Yeah,
so yeah,
big chunk of your day.
Yeah, and then somebody decided to buy the computer I was selling, so I had to drive it all the way back down here to do that. So it just felt like... And then I had to because I was doing hamburgers for our neighbours, I had to prep all of that. So pretty much... Saturday was just ridden off.
Yeah, you didn't get much done.
It was a nothing day. Sunday... was just there's some of the videos that were recorded which are taking so long to edit, but it's only because it's like the gear reviewy, not review stuff, which I need to get that photo to show this.
Yeah, so it's just time consuming.
It's just time consuming. It's more I'm trying to find a quick way to tell the story, and I don't like the end of the story, but it's a very important ending to the story. So it's actually, yeah, it's been very interesting doing that. And it's also been really interesting me continuing doing those things. So even when I was with Evelyn on Saturday, while I was training her, I did like video, and I went back to the Sony. I was shooting a Sony with an autofocus lens on, and in its S-Log, and then I was shooting the Leica with them, like fully wide on 0.95. Yeah, I got a Noctilux, which I used to own, but someone made me sell, so I had to buy it again. So I was videoing that was manual focusing using the Leica log system, and I've had a brief look at them, and it's amazing. I can't say which one I like better because they're so different. They've got such a, like, it's like I like both. Yeah. So it's... You
can't put one above the other.
No, and that's what's starting to happen with my Hasselblad and the Leica. The Sony, it's easy. I can put, with shooting, the Sony is sort of like, if I need to go into brain dead mode and autofocus type of thing, and throw my 70-200, which was my all-time favourite lens back in the day, I can just go brain dead with Sony and get great pictures, but it takes away my thinking. It's nearly like driving an automatic car. It's like you'll just cruise down the road and not have to think about driving, but you're also not thinking about the experience of driving, and you're not precision driving or race car driving or any of that type of stuff. Whereas I definitely know when I pick up the Leica, it's more like when I put my car into sports mode. Yeah. And when I pick up my Hasselblad, it's like getting in a little bit of an old-fashioned car and trying to drive it fast, but everything's clunky. But it's still cool and enjoyable, but it is very clunky. It's like a good friend of mine a couple of years ago bought a 1956 Mustang Fastback. He was so excited, and he spent paid it for a lot of money. It was in mint nick. He drove it twice and goes, I hate driving. This is horrible to drive. Because it was for heavy steering, heavy everything. He lost all his comforts. It didn't have air conditioning. It didn't have a radio that would work in Australia. All that type of thing. Yeah. So I want the look of this car, but the comfort.
The new one.
He has. Yeah, he has better than the new one. So he has Maseratis and things like that.
Jeez.
So he wanted that side of things, but he wanted the cool look.
Yeah.
Whereas I actually don't mind going back and driving a stick shift and driving it fast. It's never going to be as fast as modern cars, but it feels faster.
And it's fun.
It's fun.
Yeah. It was like even today with the shoot when we were setting up and you asked me, because I think you asked me to get your Hasselblad out. And I did, and then you turn around and you're like, oh, and you looked at me like, oh, should I shoot this on the Leica? I was like, that's a you decision. Like, why are you asking me? Like,
yeah, sometimes I just think out loud.
But it was like the way, I don't mind, I mean, you do that all the time, but it's the way that you looked at me and I was like, I don't know, like.
No, it's now that I can tether the Leica, and it tethers just as good as the Hasselblad. Like, I have no issues. It just runs, and Hasselblad's the same. Every now and then Hasselblad has a little hiccup. I have a little bit of a hiccup sometimes getting the very camera to see itself first, but I've just got to find the right procedure of when I plug the camera into when I turn this. I haven't worked out which is the exact.
Which the order is. Yeah.
Order is, but no, I then in my own head know Leica is more natural light, and I'm going to be using flash in here, so that's Hasselblad.
Right.
It could have been it wouldn't be Sony because I haven't found, like, I can tether Sony to an image edge, but you can't do anything except whatever profile you've got in the camera is what's coming up on screen. You can't change
it around.
And you saw even today, they were really nice, beautiful color pictures, but then when I flicked and changed it quickly to black and white and put a bit of contrast, it's a whole different look.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I can't do that with the Sony, and I find that annoying.
It's limited.
It's limited, but as I was talking to a few people, it's really hard for people to tether now. Unless they're happy to go with Capture One, which is quite expensive. You got to buy it now. You can't just buy one. You got to have the monthly subscription thing, and
it's a bit annoying.
And it is very digital.
Yeah, I find it to be really sharp.
Too sharp, you can't, as soon as you move the sliders a tiny bit, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And for people who are maybe trying to copy my style, or people like Peter Lindbergh and people like that don't have that aggressive, saturated, those type of looks, it's really hard to get that look out of it. And I spent, how much time I've spent trying to get it.
Yeah, it was like one of our I think people have finally stopped asking because we've harped on it so much that you can't get your look out of Capture One.
I've tried
so much.
Whereas I've managed to get my look out of ACR and Lightroom now. So, but I still say Lightroom is amazing if your camera shoots in DNG.
Yeah.
Otherwise, use ACR because I don't like what it does to Nikon RAW, Canon RAW, Sony RAW.
Yes, changes it too much. Well, what else you said that you were going to talk about the shoot today, so what were you going to
the thing that really stood out is the world's changed a lot in the last 3 years, like a real lot.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing it a lot with the models now. It's just e-commerce only.
Yeah.
It is nothing that is emotional, nothing, it's just do your Macarena.
Yeah, click pose,
and
click
the quicker you can move and stop, move and stop, move and stop. And if you have to stop and hold, you just hold it and don't move for an hour.
Yeah.
But otherwise you just move and stop, wait for the click. Lottie, I haven't seen her look so good on a shoot.
She looked amazing.
And I was still getting eyes. You didn't hear me yell out eyes very often today.
No.
But there was still eyes. What am I going to have for dinner? Eyes. What am I going to do this? Eyes. Like there wasn't a soul behind. They were really pretty. They looked really good. She's learnt her Macarena selfie face.
Yeah.
So she's learnt to do a Macarena and then have a really pretty face with it.
Yeah.
But I'm still feeling they're soulless.
I heard you tell her to get into the drift and stop doing her Macarena, and even she agreed. She was like, I'm sorry, it's just all I do is e-commerce.
So that's all, yeah.
So that's all she knows how to do. And because for the way that Lottie does model, it's perfect. She's like an e-commerce dream because she...
Oh, yeah. E-com shoot should be amazing for me.
Yeah, exactly. But for you want that drift, and that's all right. We'll shoot with her again when we get back from America. We'll get that out of her. We'll break the habit out. Especially when she comes in to shoot with you. And I think you say that to a lot of models is you say it's fine that they can do the Macarena and all that. They should know that for their e-com work. But the second they walk in this studio, leave that at the door. Yeah. Don't bring that in here.
Yeah, I need emotion. I need depth. And, to me, that's still... I know it's just something that's what I chase. And, it's either incredible stories or that my silhouette story type work, or it needs to be people look at it and go, oh my God, what's she thinking? Yeah. It looks like she's looking at me. It's those things that I'm chasing. And that's really hard because once you've done it to this level, I need it to the next level.
And you always want better.
Yeah, I know, but...
It makes it hard.
It makes it hard, but I'm certain racing cars want to drive faster.
I don't know. Probably. What?
Well, I was in one of the supercars the other day.
Oh, yeah,
and
that's right.
Even talking with Dave Reynolds, who's Tahan's partner and also V8 supercar racer, I was talking to him about the next gen, and he goes, yeah, yuck, he hates it. And it's because it's going to be slower.
No.
The cars are going to be slower. There's half the aero. Like, there's lots of stuff taken out so they race tighter and don't cause wind and that for the people behind all of that. He said, it's horrible to get into a car that's slower than what you're driving in.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, yeah,
I get where you're coming from. It just makes it harder for me. It's like... I love shooting with you, but it's like we shoot so often and then every time you want better, and so it's always bad if I do really good on a shoot because then I'm like, damn it, I've got to try somehow do better than this next time, and then sometimes I don't even know how I'm going to do that.
But I learned a bit from the last two shoots.
Okay.
I know I've learned some tricks for you especially, but I need to do it with everybody. Yeah. Everybody, they're different things. I need to do, and just looking over, so I went through and culled a lot of your photos because look, we will shoot a bit, and once we've got a killer shot, we don't need the others, even though that other people go, these are amazing, but once you're seeing this picture,
don't need,
it's just not quite.
Fair enough.
So that's when I was doing the culling, I did see some pretty obvious things that I think I need to fix, and the shoots will be better. I can't say too much because I don't want you...
Don't want to give it away.
Okay. But it was a little bit like we did a recording with Sylph and her doing the guppy.
Yeah.
So I told her afterwards, you weren't here when I told her, but it was, if I told her during it, it would never... But just by getting her to feel right, all of a sudden it disappeared. In fact, it was once I videoed her a bit. You're not doing the guppies. That's what you know what to do.
It felt so mean hiding that from her, though.
Yeah, but she was so happy we did.
Yeah.
Like, she was so happy to learn that next. Because, again, with her, she wants to evolve with her modelling. Like, what she's been doing up to date is fine, but she can see there's no long future. She needs to come up to a new, another platform. So people who've already worked with her before, I want to work with her again.
Yeah, for sure.
Because there's a new buzz about her. What you pointing at?
Yeah,
that's right. It's not plugged in.
Oh, okay.
You're worried about the blackout. You thought it died.
I thought your computer died.
It didn't die.
And I got really worried. I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, thanks for looking out for me.
That's okay. I'm doing my job.
Doing your job.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the whole evolving, I think it's with... Everyone's got to realise that the world doesn't stand still.
No. It moves very fast.
It does move very fast, and if we don't move with it, but we've got to move with it in the way we want to move with what we're doing too. It's no good us moving, going, I hate going this way. That's You got to find a way that's going that you still want to do.
Yes, very true.
But like as you've seen me start to go back and doing some of my work and
Yeah,
some of my storyboards and
doing some of your old work and stuff, which has been really cool. It's been exciting to see you do that stuff. 'Cause I haven't seen you done that in ages.
I know it's been finding the models.
Which is really tricky in Melbourne, which I think we spoke about not too long ago. It's just really, well, it's like we were just saying before.
I think it's tricky around the world.
It is a little bit.
I think because the whole way the modeling's gone, I'm hopefully like I'm seeing the turn in high-end fashion, like the big brand labels. I'm seeing them definitely bring art back into their shoots, and they've definitely gone back to, we need to have 1 or 2 hero shoots for the year and not just catalogue crap. And the funny thing is they're nearly all using old, when I say old models, I don't mean 100-year-old, but they're all using well-known, been around for at least 5 to 10-year models, which is, I'm finding that's a bit odd that, well, it's not odd because next ones are not coming up through the ranks because there's no lowest tier that's training them up.
Yeah. Well, speaking of models, and it's reminded me of a thing that you said to me yesterday, actually, because I was struggling for somewhere and I contacted a bunch of agencies and they got back to me, and I explained it's non-commercial. I just want to know, like, I'm interested in these few. What would their rate be for a 4-hour non-commercial booking? They came back with the most ridiculous pricing, and I just turned around and said, like, no, sorry, like, that's out of the budget. But then you made an interesting comment. You were like, I think half of these girls would be so devastated to know that their agencies are doing this to them and asking for something that is so ridiculous for...
Yeah, the agency will quote so like $200 an hour, and then tomorrow the model's doing a $50 an hour crappy e-com job.
Yeah, and it's like, this is non-commercial, this is just, it's basically just standing there while Peter Bec talks about lighting, like, it's really, and then any photos taken is just for other people's portfolios and social media. For them to turn around and quote something so astronomical, and then the model misses out on a job, and they'd be devastated if they knew that. But agencies kind of irritate me. I try to...
But also it's hard. I do know of workshops I have attended that would have been devastating for the models.
That as well. So I guess but they don't know.
They don't know don't know what we're doing.
Exactly. So they can only go off other people ruining, like, other people's bad workshops. It's probably put a bad taste in their mouth. Like, so even I contacted an agency in LA and they straight up replied saying, we don't supply models for workshops. I was like, that's cool, no worries, on to the next one. Like, I don't take offense to it. It's just that they've clearly had a bad experience and now they are like, no, we've had similar things to that as well. I think we had someone contact us wanting to host us, and just the way that they'd wear. I was like,
the way they wanted the workshop run was just
that's not what we do. And so we just said, like, but we've had people organise workshops like that for us, and it's been a disaster. So we've said, no, sorry, due to past experiences, we're not doing that. So but what's the expression? Bitten once, twice shy.
Bitten once, twice shy.
Isn't that
once bitten, twice shy?
Oh, shit.
Bitten once, twice. It's a shotgun moment.
Well, everyone's going to be commenting for the next 2 years now. I tried.
I normally say bitten 3 times, then I get shy. I'm a bit slow to get shy.
A bit shy, a bit slow. I can't talk today. I don't know what's wrong with me.
It's not a Friday.
It's not a Friday, but
even though
they're listening to it on a Friday.
Yeah, I know, but we couldn't record this one on a Friday.
No, we couldn't. What were you going to say?
What was I going to say?
Yeah, you looked like you were about to say something, and then I made...
Oh, no, I was just talking. You were about to say something, that's why I was swung around.
I don't know.
I got lots to say, but weren't you going... Were you going to talk about...
I was just going to bring up, like, the
reason we do this?
Yeah, just, like, kind of the reason about this podcast. Like, I know we have really heavily, so far, this chat, been talking a lot about still photography and stuff and models and that. But this podcast, so like the way that the podcast, we designed the podcast, or our aim with this is more just like something for you to listen to on like driving or while you're cleaning your house or whatever.
Let you into our world.
Yeah, just us unedited, unfiltered, us just having a chat, and we will try and keep it around, you know, photography related things. But as you probably know by now, we tend to get a bit derailed. But this
movies.
So we've got Inspire, and that is heavily teaching. That is like in-depth tutorials. And we've got YouTube, which is our behind the scenes, like tutorials, behind the scenes type of thing.
Cut down, but a little bit
more
shorter, not as in depth.
Not as in depth as Inspire, but
you can sit there and watch with a VR
and your creative
notepad.
Yeah, and your creative stuff, and now this as well. But this podcast we haven't done the podcast to be a teaching thing. Like we don't want to sit here because if people are driving in there, like we can't demonstrate things, like we can't show people. Well, I mean, I know that some people are watching.
Can't take notes while they're driving.
Yeah. Some people obviously watch this on YouTube, but not everyone does. I mean, we've still got other people.
They listen to it on YouTube. There's nothing much to watch because our faces are hiding behind.
Oh no, people say they like watch us.
Yeah, I know, but you know.
I know, but it's not designed to be like that. You know what I mean? So yeah, so this is more just us having a chat, and yeah, like Peter said, just letting you into our world. It's just meant to be a little like kind of casual, sit down, have a chat, feel like you're sitting at a bar with us type of thing, I guess.
Yeah, and if anything, one of the things was for the people who like what we do, they can get a little bit deeper into what we do, which is not just photography.
Yeah, a bit more into our lives, a bit more personal, like know who we...
Well, also a little bit of the depth about of what things we're pro and what things we're against, and more along the lines of by having a certain mindset, you're going to create a certain thing. Whereas if you have a different mindset, you might alienate different things. I think this comes down to, while some people struggle with starting out in photography because they're too busy trying to technical themselves up, then just pick up a camera and go and shoot.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I mentioned, I think I told you about it. Before I picked up my lens, I was a bit early, so I quickly zipped into the main market in Melbourne, which I hardly ever get to. I love it because I've got some fish in that. Cooking. No. And just as I pulled up in the car park, we had a heavy fog, and there was these two rays of light shining between all these buildings. And I just looked up and gone, that's cool. And it actually reminded me of one of the scenes out of Stranger Things. Mm-hmm. So I quickly popped the boot up and grabbed my camera. I'm just taking some shots. I think it took 15 or 20 frames of it. And just as I'm about stopping, someone goes, Peter Coulson? And I turned and oh, did you? I didn't know you did street photography. And I said, no, I'm not doing street photography. It's just that this looked really cool. Yeah. And I still had just as much trying to capture, just moving the head a little bit just to get the flares to go the right way.
You love that so much when people stop you in the streets.
Not as much as you.
No, I actually do like it.
You do like it. In fact, I know. I get embarrassed.
You get embarrassed. I feel like a superstar.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, so if you ever see Bec in the streets, run up, pull up your T-shirt, give her a text, and she'll sign your chest. Oh, well, if someone does that now.
So I got noticed in London when we were there. We were doing the natural light, and I was minding the bags, and there was someone like kind of pacing like in front of us, and I was like, what is this? Is this person like sizing me up to like steal some of because I've got like 15 bags of gear, and I was like, what's going on here? Anyway, he finally like gets the courage, he comes up and he's like, excuse me, are you Bec Paws by any chance? It's like, I am actually. And he's like, oh my God, it is you. He's like, where's Peter? I was like, he's over there.
Here. Oh no, who cares about Peter?
So he's around the corner like teaching and stuff. And then I felt like a superstar.
And that happened in Frankfurt, didn't it?
Yeah, Frankfurt. It happened in Brisbane when we were there.
Yeah, you're becoming super famous.
I know. I feel very important.
Yeah, next you'll be saying, I need a mask because everyone's recognising me. No, I won't. Are you sure now?
Yes, I'm sure now.
You're not big on being centre stage in public.
No, I hate public speaking.
Public speakers.
I hate public speaking. I don't know, so it was cute.
Yeah, it was a bit funny.
Because
to
me, I'm just me. Like, I don't see myself as some, like...
I laughed even more when the guy posted on his Instagram picture of me and didn't post you.
I don't care
You
about
got
that.
dumped.
I don't care about that.
No, didn't you say you thought he took it too quick and you think he blurted it?
Yeah. Yeah. But no, like it's like, it's funny. Well, even like, I mean, to you, like you're my boss, but you're also my friend. You're just Peter to me. And,
That's who I am to me.
you know, I'm just Bec to me. And then we meet people, like people come to workshops and people are so like, oh my God, it's you guys. And it's so adorable. But I'm like, yeah, we're just us. Like,
Yeah.
And then when people will say to us, like, you guys are like really down to earth and chill. I'm like, well, yeah, of course we are. We're not like big-headed people and stuff.
Our doors aren't big enough for you to get to be big-headed.
We're not big-headed. We're just down to earth people and we're just us.
Well,
and
that's because that's what I believe.
I know. I don't want that wank factor.
Yeah, I don't like it. As I've said, we've all come out one hole and we all get put in another hole. So
Yeah.
we're all equal.
Yeah.
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 I don't remember where I was going. I got a little bit lost on a tangent then.
You did get lost. I didn't know where you were going.
I have no idea. No idea. Who knows? Bec rambling.
Just a bit of a change of subject. So I had someone question me, asking me about business and pricing, which is just impossible. Well, every country, depends what you're doing, where you're doing it, who you're aiming at. I can't give you a price.
What your overheads are.
What your overheads are, what you value your time is worth, how busy you are, because the more busy you are, the higher you can lift your price.
Yeah.
All those things, it's near impossible for me to tell you what to do. And there is no rule of thumb except try not to be a bottom feeder, which means the only reason you're busy is because you're cheaper than anybody else.
Yeah.
So you never go anywhere with that. You always end up being a flounder or a suckerfish. It's just... you can't grow from that. But it was interesting, some of the things that this person was bringing up with me, and it was sort of like, are you into photography or just want to make money? And it's sort of, I could see this turnaround happening, whereas a lot of his questions weren't so much about I want to be a successful photographer. It was I want to make a lot of money out of photography, but didn't really care what they did with photography, but wanted to know, what's the best area to get in to make a lot of money, all those type of things. And we started talking about things, and everything about his sort of business plan was upselling, because people are attracted to this price and then they walk out with this price, which is like 10 times more. But they would have never booked me if they knew that price to start with. It was all, and a lot of them were little petty things. It was things like what solicitors and accountants and that do, where you ring them up and you're on the phone for 16 minutes, so they charge you for half an hour.
Yeah.
Right. So it's all those type of little sneaky things. And I wasn't getting that through to the person, because in the end I actually realized he wanted to be photographing half-naked young women and make lots of money out of it. That was his whole thing. I want to drive a Ferrari and I want to have nothing but hot women around me all the time, and I take photos so all my mates think I'm cool. That person is never going to make it. But then when I delved a little bit deeper into everything he's done, has been a little bit more like an entrepreneur. Everything was about how can I make cash up really quickly. And it was really interesting. Not long after that, I went to my local butcher and he had put a sign up on the counter.
Oh, that's right. Saying that they were going to charge you for the FPOS machine?
Yeah, it's this new thing. Because he's known me for a long time, I think I'm his best customer.
You do go to the butcher quite often.
And he knows I've run business for a lot of my life and things like that. We got talking and I was pretty firm with him. I basically said, well, the last company that did this to me, I've never bought from them again because I find this wrong. So what they've done is there's a mob out there that say, we're going to give you free FPOS terminals, you just invoice whatever you invoice them and we will charge the client the extra. So the banker's charging the fees, not the butcher. So the butcher now doesn't have any FPOS fees He gets an FPOS machine for nothing.
Yeah.
And he's still saying that's $10 worth of meat. But once, depends if you tap it, stick it in or whatever, there's an extra fee that gets generated automatically on the transaction, which goes direct to the bank.
Yeah.
And I started to think this, and we had a decent bit of talk, and he sort of said, well, I've looked at it, and it's cost us $7,000 for the last year in banking fees, like the FPOS fees. I said, doesn't sound very high to me. I said, you've got like 15, 20 staff, your turnover would be massive.
Great, yeah.
And I saw that he was charging 0.3% for FPOS, and we were charging 0.29% 24 years ago. Or 25 years ago. So his cost, he made out all his bank. And then I started looking into some of my fees. We charge 30 cents a check out, 15 cents a check in. All these fees, counting of cash we were charged. And I add up, and then I add up the time that the staff used to have to do the banking every day. And I've gone, the banking fees is nothing compared to, like, cash was the worst thing. It cost us twice as much.
Because you had to do all the cash
all
work.
the counting and the time that the staff took to count the days and all that. And I went back to him the other day and he was in there and I go, well, I did me figures and now I just feel like you're ripping me off. I said, because your fees there with inflation, you're actually paying less than what I used to pay. And I didn't have anywhere near the profit margins you have. Like nothing. We were running the whole business on 20% commission. You're marking up to 100 or 400%. And I said, I'm now being very open and obvious to this, and I have not found another shop that is charging the fee on top of what I've bought. This is an accounting overhead of your business.
Yeah.
It's like your fuel, like your electricity, heating, all those things.
Yeah, you need to add accounting as an overhead.
As an overhead.
For
sure. And he started to get a bit offended. I said, no, seriously, we've got a shop each side of you with one staff member and they're not charging it.
Yeah.
And there's a baker and and none of them are charging it. But you've got 14 or 15 staff. You've got a big factory, you've got your smoker room, all this, and you feel the need to charge everybody on top of their transaction. And he's pulled his signs down. I couldn't believe it, but to me, and as I said to him, I said, you can't compete with the big, especially in Australia, we have 3 main groceries and that's it. So they really monopolise. And none of them are charging it.
No.
I said, you can't compete. Their meat is always at least half what yours is. And he said, oh, but mine's... I said, well, why do you think I'm here?
Yeah, because
it's nicer.
It's nicer.
It's better meat.
Yeah.
So if you put all your prices up in your business by 1%, I wouldn't even know.
Yeah, you'd still go there because you're
I
going there for
wouldn't
the
even know
quality.
the 1% because I'm not going there based on buying it for that sense.
Yeah, you're going
But
there
the
because
second
you
you
like the
put that
quality.
extra charge on the counter, you've told every one of your customers every time they do it, oh, I'm going to charge you extra.
Yeah, whereas if you just put it up a little bit, yeah.
Well, it's quite funny, but this is, I brought this up mainly because it was a business thing that sometimes you'll get away with charging more if you just have a flat fee and it's nice and simple and the customers, there's no upsells, there's no secret.
What you do.
Yeah, there's no hidden expenses, there's no, and Bec sees this all the time. She goes, well, I only charge, I said, well, that was the rate. And and it might have taken us longer, but we quoted on that rate, and that's what it is.
Well, it's like before you stopped doing commercial, because I would be the one quoting on stuff, and anyone that comes to us, whether it was a client for, I don't know, like a clothing label, or if it was just a model wanting some portfolio shots, everyone's the same. Because but everyone, especially models, oh, what packages do you have? And I'm like, we don't do I know a lot of places do, but we just don't. Well, we weren't doing that, so I just told everyone.
We're just an hourly rate.
Yeah, so I would just tell everyone it's this per hour for photography, it's this much per hour for retouching. You can pick as many photos as you like, but then everyone comes out like, oh, well, how many hours will it take? And it's like, well, it depends how quickly we can get through it. Peter works fast, so we can probably smash, and depending on the job, we might be able to smash this out in 2-3 hours. Yeah. And then if you don't pick too many photos, the retouching, if you don't want heavy retouching, that could probably be an hour.
Yeah, so, for the entire shoot.
Yeah, so there you go. but it was just the same price for everyone. It's not this like,
And we never had anybody haggling with us at the end. No, everyone always paid. We never had to. Well, I didn't normally chase anyway until it got embarrassing.
Yeah, no. But other than that, everyone paid. Everyone was happy. It was just simple, easy.
They knew what they were in for, and we only ever tended to quote their first job, didn't we?
Yeah.
And then they never asked for a quote.
No,
then
they
just turned up.
No. Exactly.
So yeah, that's a business tip. Is
just make it simple.
Make it so people don't see the money.
Yeah, just make it simple. Because the second you start complicating things, be like, oh, well, it's this, but then you can, I don't know. And trying to change the pricing depending on the client, I feel like that overcomplicates it even more. Like if you've got a different price for every client, then you're just probably going to get, well, if you're like me, you probably get confused.
Yeah, and you're going to charge the wrong price for the wrong clients.
Yeah, which it's so much easier to just keep it all the same. And it's this.
Well, you've even seen yourself with booking studios and things like that, how much of a pain that budget is because they're just not open, obvious with the pricing.
Or insurance policies.
Or they don't read. You were nasty.
You were not.
so nasty.
Oh, well.
Yeah, it was quite funny how that all came about. That ended up with the local butcher and
yeah, I can't believe you won.
Well, one of the staff when I went to Grapes and Eggs the other day goes, "You weren't the only one. We saw so many of our regulars all question why." And most of them said, "Well, I can go to the supermarket next door. I can go to the pizza. I can go." None of them are charging. What's changed? It's just he wanted free FPOS fees.
Yeah.
And the worker should not have told me this, but he basically said, well, because to save $7,000, it was going to cost you $18,000.
Jeez.
So that was a...
cost you?
Well, the customer. So
each customer?
No. He was going to save $7,000 in FPOS fees, but it was going to cost his customers $18,000.
Right.
So... all he did was make more money for the bank and made his customers pay more for the service. Yeah, and he would have made $7,000 more profit, but he wouldn't have dropped his price. And that was something that's... So are you going to drop your prices now that you're not...
Yeah, right.
Oh, but this has gone up and this is... It's quite funny. Business is hard, but I do know myself. If I trust somebody, I don't ask for quotes. I just trust they're going to look after me because I'm going to be a good customer.
Well, my nail tech, she's on maternity leave now, so I will not be getting...
She's dumped you.
No, she's having a baby.
Yeah,
she's coming back. She's having a baby. She's with child. These are my last nails I get. But even with her, yes, my nails are expensive. And when I speak to other friends of mine who get fake nails, and then I always get... I get compliments on mine just going to the shop, and when I go to pay, the people, not everyone, but certain girls, oh my God, I love your nails. I get it all the time and I love it. And I pride myself on my nails, even though they're not for everyone. My dad says that they're revolting, his words. Oh, sorry. I think that they are beautiful. And I get
Does your dad think they're revolting?
He said they're revolting.
Oh.
I know. I was like, that's such a harsh word, Dad. But that's okay. My dad's from Queensland.
They're revolting.
No, they're Queenslanders.
They're Queenslanders.
Yeah, they're very, very countryish. Well, they live in the tropics. We were talking about this a few episodes ago about Queenslanders. How they're just a bit different.
I was there the other day.
Yeah, yes. They're a bit different up in Queensland.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so she does a really good job. It takes 3 hours to get these done. And even Rara said, how can you sit there for 3 hours with someone doing your nails?
You'd actually like being pampered for 3 hours.
Well, I've normally got one hand free, and we tour. I've been going to Maddie's since 2019.
So how do you go for 3 hours without a cigarette?
Yeah.
You do?
Well, I don't drink while I'm there.
Oh. Well, why do you complain so much when I'm on a plane for an hour?
Because I'm drinking. I like it when I drink. Hey, I don't complain when we're doing podcasts. Anyways, it's 3 hours of her time, and she does a really immaculate job. She is such a perfectionist with it, and she's always down to do whatever I want and stuff. And I've been seeing her for 3 years, so I get to have a chat with her. I don't care at the end of at the end of each, like when we're deciding.
You're listening, Maddie.
when like we finish up, I'm like, how much do I owe you? It's never like at the start. Be like, okay, so I want to get this, and how much is that going to be? It's always like
And can you give me a better price because I've been coming here for 3 years?
Yeah, no, it's just like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm thinking of this, and then at the end, all right, cool. How much do I owe you? And sometimes she tells me the price, and I'm like, are you serious? Like that. And sometimes I'll give her extra money. I'm like, no. Like, there's been like a couple of times I've been like, no.
Guy, I've never used him before. The one who came in and did the apple we sold.
Yeah.
And never used him before. He turned up when he was supposed to. He did it exactly to the price. And I just gave him $10 more because I didn't have change. I didn't want him to muck around with that. And I just gave him cash because it was a bonus for him. And he goes, you don't want to talk about it? I said, no, you told me this was the price. You've done it. It's working. It looks fine. And yeah, I've got and I asked him a couple of questions. He goes, yeah, I can give you quotes on it. I said, no, don't need a quote. I just need someone who's reliable and good and not going to rip me off.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you'll just get me. I'll book you up for everything because I don't want to have to think about that. And I don't want to run around quoting. And he goes, every job he turns up to, they want to haggle over the price before he starts and then once he's finished.
Oh my gosh, no.
Yeah, I couldn't.
No. I think, yeah, I mean, from a business person side of view, haggling is really annoying, but also from
It's just annoying.
Yeah, it is. No, but then, sorry, not but, I should have said and from a customer side of view, from a business person, an upsell is really annoying. Like someone who constantly tries to upsell you. And I know a lot of, like, if I relate it back to, well, actually, no, so I won't relate it back to nails, but even though that happens a lot. But even photography, I know of a lot of places that will.
Oh yeah, the original quote, they'll never let you out the door with that. So they're not made enough, and they haven't made enough money to cover their overheads.
Now, like, so they give you the quote, and then, but they haven't told you about all these little, so if you want the photos, it's going to be this, and if you want this, it's going to be this, and if you want this.
Yeah, I want a photo shoot with no photos, thank you.
Yeah, but then to get your photo, so they lure you in as, you can do a photo shoot, so they're going to cost you this much, but then to get your photos, now you owe us like $1,000, like that kind of stuff. But it's just quickly, sorry, just relating it back to nails. That happens all the time. If you go to like certain fast nail places, would you want us to do this, that, and the other? And you'd be like, yeah, that sounds really nice.
You want me to stick them on as well?
Yeah, but like I don't know, they'll do the, like, they'll quote you for like the nails, but they're like, that's just for like plain polish. And then they start being, do you want to add like the glitter, and do you want to add a design, and do you want to add this? They don't mention that that's costing extra. They just ask if you want it, and then you got to say...
But doesn't that pay you off?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the smart thing of business.
I know.
Right? Don't try and get somebody to book you because you're the cheapest.
No.
But get them to think, if that's your price and you're in business, you must be all right. And then at the end you go, there's no upside. You're actually cheaper than where I used to go.
Yes. It's like at the vet, I think I may have mentioned, I can't remember if I mentioned this in a podcast, that like when I had to take floof to get her teeth removed, and I was putting her in, and they're like, and would you like us to do a pre-anesthetic check or something? And I was like, what's that? And they're like, we'll do like a blood test, we'll check her liver, we'll check all of this. And I'm like, how much extra is that? And she's like, $200. I'm like, my cat is healthy. She's fine.
No, my cat is unhealthy. The check's not going to make her healthy. Just tell me how unhealthy my cat is.
My cat has rotten teeth. Just pull them out, please. But like, she had no intention of telling me that was an extra $200. It was just, would you like, it's going to be, you'll find out about all of this.
Well, the dentist did the same thing to me. You get two free checkups from when they cut half a mouth out. And on this, we might as well do a clean on this. I said, I'll get that done. And so we're going to take some x-rays.
That's extra. Yeah.
Sorry, you said a clean, and now you're doing x-rays because you want to find a cavity. Guess what? There's no cavities in my teeth. Yeah. And once we finish the clean and the x-rays, we think we can see there could be a cavity that our x-ray hasn't been. No, and that was, I cancelled that today, didn't I? Yeah, it's just
so I guess
upsell.
Yeah, it's really bad, and it puts people off. It really, really puts people off. So
even going to a service station. Would you like these 2 chocolates for that? Or if you decide to buy one, you can get 2 for this.
That happened. we were out of milk the other day and I had to go buy milk. So I just ran down to the servo because there's one like just down the road from my house. So convenient. It was even more convenient.
Is that next door to the pub that's been pulled down and you don't have a bottle shop walking distance?
Biggest stitch up. There used to be a bottle shop walking distance from my house. And
it's been like there forever. That pub was the first place that served me. I think I was 14. I paid with 1 cent pieces.
So convenient. Just like even my mates would come over and they would like, they didn't have to think about like, where am I going to stop on the way? Because they'd come over and then they could just walk down the road. Or I'd run, it'd be like 9 o'clock at night and I'd be nearly out of wine. I'm like, that's all right, I'll just go down and grab myself a cheeky bottle.
Very soon you'll be able to go down and have a chat with some old person.
No work. They're building a retirement village instead. Absolute stitch up.
For everybody who has liver disease.
I am not impressed. Anyways, I also have a servo, which is super convenient.
But servos in Australia doesn't sell alcohol.
No, they don't. Oh, and servo is a gas station for...
A gas station.
Gas station. We call them servos. And I go down there to get some milk. So I get a 2-litre bottle. It's just me and my boyfriend at home. And the guy's like, oh, you can get 2 for $7 or something. I'm like, I don't need 4 litres. Like, it's just 2 of it. Like, this is fine. And he's like, oh, are you sure? Like, it's. I'm like, yes, I'm sure. It's just going to go off. I don't need 4 litres of milk.
But you have cats that should be drinking it to get their teeth stronger so you don't have to go to the vet.
Oh my gosh, no. That sounds just annoying. I don't like to be told, like, although the one place that, speaking of upsells, because Macca's, I know, would you like fries?
I think they were the first to ever do the upsell.
Yeah.
I think they were the very first place. It was, would you like fries with that?
Yeah, I think
even if you order fries, that'd be too, would you like, I've already ordered them.
I don't like that now their new thing is...
Would you like lettuce with that rather than cabbage?
Anything else? Anything? It's like, yes, just let me finish. Like, it makes me feel... So I'll be like, we got Macca's the other night. I'm like, can I grab a large Big Mac meal with extra cheese? Like, yep, anything else? I'm like, yeah, another large Big Mac meal with extra cheese and no pickles. Anything else? Can we grab frozen Coke for the drinks? Yeah, anything else? I'm like, just let me finish. Like, it's just... Then I was like, and 10 packet nuggets with sour sauce.
Yeah, see, by the time Beck finishes her order, she goes, is that it?
That's what I mean. It's the way they're like, anything else? I'm like, yes.
That's big, I can't go. And Dan? They're not allowed to do it. And Dan anymore. And Dan is not a thing anymore. And Dan? Anything else?
I was like, yes, there is actually. It's like, oh God, like I know it's polite, but because my order goes on for such a while, it's like, I just feel
what you do, don't take a breath in between each thing.
I should just like spit it all out.
Spit it all in continuous one word.
But then I get nervous because I
always stuff it up.
Screw it up.
They stuff it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
No, not Croydon Macca's. Ringwood Macca's do. Ringwood Macca's can't get anything right.
Yeah, well, I told you about Bayswater Macca's the same.
Yeah. But I can't be too nasty about Ringwood Macca's because I did complain about them and they did give me 2 $10 vouchers to go, and I was like, yeah, thanks.
So...
They screwed it up.
Quite a few years ago, I think we were on a road trip somewhere.
Oh, God.
And we're going to get Macca's, and I said, egg and bacon muffin.
Yeah, that's
about all I eat from Macca's. Or I'll eat a hash brown, but that's about it. And I said, it's really paying me off. There was always eggshell in them. And we stopped, and I got eggshell in mine. Oh, no, I think I said finally.
You didn't. You were saying that you said that every time you get one, you get eggshell in it. And I was like, I've never heard of that. Like, I've never had that. I've never heard of anyone else having that. And you were like, no, every time I get one, there is eggshell. And we stopped and you got one. And you're like, oh, finally, there isn't one. And I think you had 2 on that road trip. Like, I think because over not in one day.
No.
And again, there was no, and I was like, see, I think you're making things up. Like a week or 2 later, I went to Macca's with my boyfriend and because I told him this like whole saga and I was like, oh, and then Peter had 2 and there wasn't any eggshell in them. And then we got them and I was like, Yeah, Peter and his eggshell in the egg, and I bit into a bit of eggshell.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
It's disgusting, but I was like, what are the
after
chances?
you have that 7 or 8 times,
But what
you
are the
just cannot.
chances?
That first bite has already put you off.
No, but what are the chances? And I was mocking you right as it happened as well. I was saying
Because
to
you
Jared, I was
mocked
like,
me. That's all payback.
I wonder if there's going to be any eggshell, and then bit into, and there was, and I was like, and even Jared was gobsmacked. He was like, I've never ever had that or known anyone else to have
I
that.
reckon I've had 20 in my life. But that's why I don't even go there. I don't even have that anymore.
They probably know that you're
I
coming.
cancel culture them.
Oh my God.
I treat them like
I love Macca's.
single white men. They're cancelled.
God. I had it for dinner on Sunday night. I wasn't going to, but then I was at my sister's place and she got Macca's for my nephew. Well, they'd been
Not
out.
your niece.
No, she's still on milk.
How come Macca's haven't got onto breast milk yet?
Oh my God.
I'm certain there's got to be. They've got their latte machine. They could definitely do breast milk and baby food. Why isn't there McNuggets or McMilk?
McMilk. McBooby.
Yeah, breast juice. I don't know.
But no, they got home late 'cause they were at like family and stuff. So Jasper, he let me have a chip. I was like, Jasper, can I have a chip? He's like, no. And I was like, please. He's like, oh, all right. The sass. I love
So did you take the whole packet and give him one back?
He's such a little three-nager. Like you ask him anything and he's no. But the second you say please, he does this eye roll and goes, oh, all right. Because you've used your manners. It's a bit cute.
And you wouldn't have been like that.
I think I was worse.
I think you would have been a hell of a lot worse.
No one could call me anything but my full name, like Rebecca. Like everyone had to call me.
Now, if someone calls you Rebecca, you want to
like,
kill them.
Don't call me that.
What was the other one? Becca Bec or something?
Oh no, I called myself a Becca Bec
A Becca Bec.
because I couldn't say my name properly. Jasper, my nephew can't say his name properly. He calls himself Jasser.
Jasper.
Can't say the P.
Jasper. Jasper's a friendly ghost.
No, that's Casper.
Oh, close to Jasper.
He can't say the P, so he's called Jasser.
Jasper.
It's cute.
Oh my God.
Anyway, sorry. Clucky talk.
We're not talking about movies or
No.
Or we are
We're talking about food.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Your favourite foods.
I'm sorry, guys. We get derailed.
Get derailed.
I mean, I don't know. Like, imagine if we just sat here and spoke about like.
Well, we could talk about f-stops. So do you know the difference of the hole size for the f-stop? Do you know the technical measurement?
Imagine if we did that. Nah, that would.
There's actually one.
There are podcasts that do that, and for people that are interested in that, like their podcasts exist like that. But that's not what our podcast is.
There's one, I can't remember, I don't want to audition because I've actually watched it. They drive me up the wall. I keep hitting the L key. So anybody who doesn't know on a keyboard, L will fast forward by 10 seconds. Oh, thanks for deafening everyone with your glass.
Sorry.
The key next to it, the K, will pause it or start it, and the J will rewind it by 10 seconds. So when there's particular things, I think they might be, some of them are like, but they go for 2.5 odd hours. They seem to just talk shit in between, but...
And apparently our podcasts are too long.
Yeah, but that's what they do. Well, I've been listening to Joe Rogan. He's 3 hour plus.
Oh no, I'm also meant like...
I know.
People have said that this goes for too long.
Stop picking on our poor people that need to go to bed at a certain time.
No, but
I'm joking.
If this goes for too long, you don't have to watch it all in one. You can pause and come back the next day.
Yes, you could bet.
That's what I do sometimes. That's what actually the podcast I listen to in my car.
Every podcast, the one I'm listening to now, I think I've listened just like it's been in 10 parts so far.
Yeah.
So I've been on short trips.
I listen to my podcast in parts. I don't sit there and be like, okay, I've got to do this all in one. I break it up.
I was surprised on the plane 3 hours straight, and it was. I started listening at first in a lounge, and it was just finishing as I was landing. I thought that didn't feel like 3 hours. That was cool. That actually made a 3 hour flight feel like 2 hours. It was actually cool, and I learned stuff.
Good. Very good.
I do. We should do this with us. They have a spell. It's not spell. Yeah, like a spell checker. A fact checker.
Yeah, I know.
Who checks instantly.
I know.
And then says, no, you're talking crap. That's like, see, it's a furphy. This place is sold as a furphy. You do it to me all the time.
I do that to you, but I know we spoke. No.
Every time I say something, let's prove Peter wrong.
No, because I don't want you to tell too many people and it be wrong.
But I love it when you go, that's got to be crap. And you go, it actually was real.
Yeah. Well, you did it the other day about something, about some person, and you said that it was... I don't know. You said something and it turned out to be fake news. You said it was that guy who got...
Oh, yeah, no, but, the only I heard that on a podcast, but
I know.
I thought they said it was... But, there must be a place you can see it because both of them had seen it.
It went the video went viral, but it wasn't live. But I just didn't want you going around telling everyone it was live. It wasn't live.
I know, but it was still bad that it was filmed.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Thanks.
Just for anybody who did sit right through to the end, the books we've got in the background today, that's you got. I decided to grab my fashion book. So I've got Dior, I've got Guess, and 45 Years of Valentino. So I didn't do photographers, I actually did fashion labels today.
Fashion is my passion.
I was going to start off because we had that guy who wanted me to talk more about the books, but...
Oh, we'll do that next time, maybe, for them.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
Thanks, Gorse.
Thank you.
See you next week. Have a good one. Bye.